We begin now at the top of Daf Chaf Aleph on Beis Meseches Shabbos. This is Shabbos Daf 21b. The Gemara just quoted Rav Chista's opinion. Rav Chista said that on weekdays a person can light Chanukah candles from the oils and the wicks that are not permitted to be used on Shabbos, but of course on Shabbos Chanukah a person will not be able to do that. And the Gemara explains Rav Chista holds kavsa that if the Chanukah candles go out, ein zakuk. The person doesn't need to relight it. So there's not such a strict thing that it should last for the right amount of time. Again, the Gemara is going to ask on this anyways. But the point is, we're not so worried how long it lasts, and therefore Rav Chista says it's fine on weekdays. But the reason why it's a problem on Shabbos is because it is mutter to use the light of the Chanukah candles on Shabbos for a person's own benefit, and therefore we're afraid the person's going to tilt the candles or whatever it is if it's not lit properly, if it's not lighting properly. Gemara now continues. Amar Rav Zera, Amar Rav Masna. Rav Zera says in the name of Rav Masna, V'yamri Lam Rav Zera, Amar Rav. Some people say it's Rav Zera quoting Rav. Psilos u'shmonim she'amru chachamim ein madlikin ben b'Shabbos, madlikin behen b'Chanukah bein b'chol bein b'Shabbos. So this is the third opinion. Those wicks and those oils that are not allowed to be used on Shabbos, a person can use them on Chanukah, whether it be on a weekday of Chanukah, or whether it be on Shabbos Chanukah. What's the idea? Amar Rav Yirmiyah. Rav Yirmiyah says, my time, what's the reason to Rav? What's the reason of Rav? Why is he so lenient? Kasavar kavsa ein zakuk. Number one, he holds that if the flame goes out, you don't need to relight it on Chanukah. So therefore, on weekdays, even though these are not the best the oils and not the best wicks to light with, we're not worried. V'asr l'shtamish lower. And also, it's usher to use the Chanukah candles for a person's own benefit. So there's no problem that a person is going to accidentally tilt it on Shabbos. Rashi says, V'asr l'shtamish lower sheyei nikar shu ner mitzvah v'lekal l'mechesh. We want it to be clear that this is ner mitzvah. If a person's going to use the Chanukah candles in order to read or to learn by them or something like that, it's not going to be clear that it's a mitzvah. It's for the mitzvah purpose. So therefore, therefore, the Chachamim said a person's not allowed to benefit from the Chanukah candles. But once you're not allowed to benefit, you have no problem that you're going to tilt it at all because you're not using it anyway for your benefit. So the Gemara now says, questioning Rav Yirmiyah's explanation here of Rav, Amru Rabbanan Kamei de Abaye Mishmei de Rav Yirmiyah. The Rabbanan said this whole statement of Rav Yirmiyah for explaining Rav in front of Abaye. V'lo kibla, and he did not accept it. Ki asa Ravin amru Rabbanan kamei de Abaye mishmei de Rabbi Yochanan v'kibla. But then when Ravin came, the Rabbanan said it in front of Abaye in the name of Rabbi Yochanan and not in the name of Rabbi Yirmiyah, and he did accept it. Amar, and he said, if I would have merited it, I would have learned it originally. I would have accepted it the first time. So essentially, Abaye is lamenting the fact that he didn't accept the statement when it was presented to him the first time in the name of Rabbi Yirmiyah. The Gemara says, "V'hagamra," but what's the difference? He did learn it in the end. What's he lamenting? Why is he regretting this? The Gemara says, "Nafkamina legirsa diyanuksa." So it's the nafkamina is that when someone learns something when they're young, it lasts longer in their memory than when they learn when they're older. So Abaye essentially was saying, had I been zocha, I would have accepted this teaching the first time, and it would have been lasted in my memory for a longer time. It would have been girsa diyanuksa. Anyway, now the Gemara asks, finishing the question here, v'chavsa ein zakukla. Is it really true that when the flame goes out, you don't need to relight it? Is that really true? In other words, is it possible what Rabbi Yirmiyah is saying to explain this position is that when the flame goes out in Chanukah candles, you don't need to relight it? How could that be? Or we can ask a contradiction from Rabbi Isa. It says that the mitzvah of Chanukah candles is from Shkias HaChama until people stop walking in the marketplace. So that implies there is a shear. So how could you say you don't have to relight it? My lav, doesn't it mean the kavsa hadar madlikla? Why are we giving a shear? Obviously, the shear is that if it goes out, you should relight it. It's got to last that long. So the Gemara says, lo no, the lo adlik madlik. The idea is that if you haven't yet lit it, that's how long you should light it for. V'inami l'shiura. Or it's trying to tell you the shear of how long it should be. Rashi says here, l'shiura, sheyehei bo shemen kashir hazeh. It should have enough oil to last that long, but if it goes out, you don't have to relight it. Again, the first opinion here, di lo adlik madlik, is it's telling you when is the time for lighting Chanukah candles. It's trying to tell you if you haven't lit Chanukah candles yet, as long as you haven't reached the time of tichla regel menashuk, you should still light. It's nothing to do with how long it lasts. That's one approach of why the Bryce is giving you a time period. The second approach is that it is giving you a time period in terms of shiurim, but it's not saying that you have to relight it if it goes out. Gemara now continues at the two dots. regel min ashuk, until the people stop walking in the marketplace. That's the zman for lighting Hanukkah candles. The Gemara says v'yad kama. How long is that? Amar Rabbi Bar Bar Chana, Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Bar Bar Chana says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Adekalia rigla de Tarmudai. It's until the people of Tarmudai they stop walking in the shuk. Rashi explains. Rigla de Tarmudai, Shem Uma Malakte Etim Dakim, Umisakvin Beshuk at Sheholchem Bnei Ashuk Levateim. This is a certain nation. They collect small wood, they deal with small pieces of wood, and they stay in the marketplace until after everybody else leaves. When people go home, they need candles, they need lights, so sometimes they'll come out. So the point is that the Tarmudai, they stay late in the marketplace. So don't think that immediately when people leave the marketplace, the time for lighting Hanukkah candles is over. You actually have until the latest time, which is the time that the Tarmudaim, when they leave the marketplace, that's when it's no longer allowed to light Chanukah candles. The Gemara continues here at the two dots. Tanur Rabbanan, we learned in the Braisa, mitzvahs Chanukah ner ishu beso. The mitzvah of Chanukah is that each household lights one candle. V'amahadrin ner l'chol echad v'yachad. The mahadrin, those who try to beautify the mitzvah, they light a candle for every person in the household. V'amahadrin min mahadrin, those who go beyond them, even the mahadrin. Beis Shammai omrim yom rishon madlik shmona. So Beis Shammai say the first day they light 8 candles. Mikan va'elech poches v'holech, and then going on they lower the amount of candles. So on the second day they light 7 candles, third day they light 6 candles, etc. Beis Hillel say Yom Rishon Madlik Achas. On the first day of Chanukah, first night of Chanukah, you light 1 candle, Mikan va'elech Mosef Olech, and then you keep adding a candle as we do. Amar Ula says Pligi Batrei Amorai b'Marava. There's a machlokus between 2 Amoraim in the west regarding this. Rabbi Yossi bar Avin, Rabbi Yossi bar Zavida. The machlokus was between Rabbi Yossi bar Avin and Rabbi Yossi bar Zavida. Chada Martaim de Beis Shammai keneged Yom Hanichnasin. One opinion says that the reason for Beis Shammai is that he's saying light according to the days that are still yet to come, essentially. Rashi says here, Keneged Yomim Hanichnasim means Hasidim Lavo, the days that are entering, the days that are coming in the future. So that's why Beis Shammai says you start with 8 candles, because there's 8 days left, etc. The time of the Beis Hillel, the time of the Beis Hillel, Keneged Yom Hayotzin. And Beis Hillel say, no, you light according to the amount of days that have passed. So on the first day you light 1 candle, etc. The time of the Beis Shammai, Keneged Pari HaChag. Now the other Amora says that the reason for Beis Shammai was because of or we should say corresponding to the Pari HaChag. On Sukkot, the karbonos that were brought, they would descend. They would get smaller amounts each day. The time of the Beis Hillel, the Malin Bekodesh Vein Moridim. But Beis Hillel say, no, you got to ascend in Kedusha, not descend in Kedusha. And therefore, the way that a person goes up in Kedusha is to light 1 candle the first day and continue to increase the amount of candles each day. Amar Rabbi Bar Bar Chana, Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Bar Bar Chana says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Shnei Zakenim Hayu B'Tzidan. There were 2 elders in Sidon. Echad Asik Beis Shammai, ve'echad Asik Divrei Beis Hillel. One followed Beis Shammai, one went to like the words of Beis Hillel. Zen nosin tam ladvarav keneged Pari HaChag, v'zen nosin tam ladvarav d'malin b'kodesh ve'ein moridin. One said that the reason for it is because it corresponds to the cows that are brought on Sukkot. They descend. So again, we're comparing the karbonos of Sukkot to Chanukah, lighting Chanukah candles. The other one says the reason is because a person should ascend in Kedusha and not descend, as we said before. Tanur Rabbanan, we learned in a Braisa, Ner Chanukah, when it comes to the mitzvah of Ner Chanukah, mitzvah lahanicha al Pesach beiso mi bachutz. Person should put it by the door of his house on the outside. Em hoya dor ba'aliyah, if a person lives in the upper floors, manicha bechalon hasmucha l'Rosh Hashanah, he should put it in the window that is near the Rosh Hashanah. Uv'shas sakona manicha al shulchano v'dayo. If it's a time of sakona, then the person should just put it on his table, and that is enough. What does it mean, a time of sakona? Rashi says, Hasakana shahaya lahem leparsim chok biyom edam shelo yaviru ner el beveis avodah zara shalahem kedamrinan begittin. So this is the Gemara in Gittin. The Gemara in Gittin says that the Persians used to have a day on their holiday where they did not allow anyone to light candles in their homes. The only candles that were allowed were in the Beis Avodah Zara. So on those days it would be a sakana to light candles, so it's enough to light inside on the person's table, and he doesn't need to make it public, so that way the parsim will not attack. Amar Rava says tzarich ner acheres leishtamesh laora. So Rava says that when you light Chanukah candles, you should include another candle. That's the candle you're going to use its light for benefit. V'ika medura lo tzarich. But if there's already a medura, if there's already a bonfire in the house, then you don't need to worry about it. You already have light coming from another source. V'i adam chashav alpha gav dika medura tzarich ner acheres. Now, if the person's an adam chashav, an important person, then he should have another candle to use. Rashi explains, V'i adam chashav, if he's an adam chashav, she'eno ragel ishtamish lor madura. I guess adam chashav, they wouldn't use the bonfire light, so he should actually have an additional light. Just backing up one Rashi, v'ika medura eish lo tzarich ner acheres lefisha mishtamish lor madura v'yesh hakera shener shal mitzvah. Again, Rashi says once again the reason why a person should have another candle to use, we don't want to use we don't want to use this follows that opinion we said before, that you don't want to use the Hanukkah candles for any benefit, otherwise it's not clear, it's not nicker that it is for the mitzvah of Hanukkah. Gemara says now at the two dots, my Hanukkah, what is Hanukkah? What kind of question is what is Hanukkah? Rashi says, my Hanukkah al eza nes kavua. What was the miracle that they based Hanukkah on? The Ton Rabbanan we learned in a Brisa. B'chafei b'Kislev, it was the 25th of Kislev, Yomi de Chanukah, those are the days of Chanukah, Tzmanya Inan, there are 8 days, Delola Mispad Bahon, there's no eulogizing on those days, Delola Sanas Bahon, there's no fasting on those days, essentially they're days of celebration. Why? Shekashenichnasu Yevonim lahechol, when the Greeks entered the Hechol, Timu Kol Hashmanim Shebehechol, they made all the oils in the Hechol Tamei, Ukashagavra Malchus Beis Chashmonai V'nitzchum, when the kingdom of Beis Chashmonai was victorious, Badku v'lo matzu alapach echad shel shemen, they checked and they only found one jug of oil, shahaya munach bechosama shel kohen gadol, it was placed with the seal of the kohen gadol, v'lohaya bo ela lahadlik yom echad, it was only enough to light one day, nasa bonesa, it was a miracle, v'dliku mimenu shmona yamim, it lit for 8 days, l'shana acheres, for the next year, kavam v'asom, yamim tovim b'halal v'hodah, they established it as days of Yom Tov in Halal and Hodah. Tanan Hasam, we learned over there in the Mishnah, gates hayotze mitachas hapatish. If a person has a spark that comes from a hammer, let's say he's hammering, the yotza v'hizik, and it goes out and it does damage, chayev, he's chayev on the damage that he caused. Gomol shaton pishta. Now, if a camel has a lot of flax, vuover b'rishus harabim, and the camel is going in rishus harabim, v'nichnesa pishtano l'soch hachanus, the flax goes into the store, v'dolka b'neiro shal chenvani, and now the candle of the storekeeper ends up lighting the whole thing, v'hidlik asabir, and it lights the whole place on fire. Baal Hagomel Chayev, so the owner of the camel ends up being Chayev, because what did he really do? He really entered into an area he shouldn't have with this flax, and that caused the fire. Now, if the Chenvani put his candle outside, essentially into the Rishus Harabim, Chenvani Chayev. Then the Chenvani is Chayev. Rabbi Yehuda Omer ben Ner Chanukah Potter. That's why we're quoting this. Rabbi Yehuda says that if the Chenvani put a Ner Chanukah outside, he's supposed to do that. That's what the mitzvah is. So then he is Potter. Rashi explains, first, Baal Gomel Chayev, the owner of the camel is Chayev when he goes in. He shouldn't have this big bundle and take it into the store. B'ner Chanukah Potter, but the storekeeper is Potter by Ner Chanukah. Chenvani shebereshus pirsum mitzvah nichasham. He had permission because of the din of pirsumei nisa, the pirsum mitzvah, letting the public know about the mitzvah. He's allowed to put the Chanukah candles in Rishus Harabim, so he's Potter in that case. Amar Ravina says, Zos Omer, this proves, Ner Chanukah mitzvah lanicha b'soch hasara. It must be that the Ner Chanukah, it's a mitzvah to put it within 10 tefachim of the ground. Meaning, from this Mishnah, we can prove that that is true. Because if you're allowed to put the Ner Chanukah above 10 tefachim from the ground, if that were allowed, let him say to him, you have a responsibility to place your Ner Chanukah higher than the camel and the person riding it. So it's really, you can't absolve yourself of the responsibility because of the din of Pirsumei Nisa. So the Gemara says, no, v'dilma imitzchale tuva asilim nuim mitzvah. It's not a proof. It could be that if we would make a person go to this bother of placing it up high, then he wouldn't do the mitzvah. So therefore, really, it's not that a person has to place it b'soch hasara. It's allowed to be above 10 tefachim, but he doesn't have to place it above 10 tefachim. It's not his responsibility to place it above 10 tefachim, because we don't want to make it so difficult to fulfill the mitzvah, so that's why he is still Potter. Gemara continues at the two dots. Amar Rav Kahana says, Darish Rav Nasan bar Menyume mishmei de Rabbi Tanchum. So Rav Nasan bar Menyume darshan in the name of Rabbi Tanchum, and we'll see his drasha, we'll see what he says in the next video on Daf Chaf Beis Amar Aleph.